Good morning. So today's lesson will be on negative exponents with powers of 10. Lesson 5, day 1. So we're going to split this lesson over 2 days, talking about negative exponents with powers of 10. So here we go. Our goal, I can use the exponent rules with negative exponents. So we're going to go over our rules shortly. So let's review our adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing rules for integers. So our first thing, when we're adding integers, if you have same signs, you add and keep the same sign. So if we have both of our positive numbers, we just keep it positive. We have both negative numbers we're adding. When we're adding, we keep the sign. So it's negative 3 plus negative 5 would be negative 8. If we have opposite signs or different signs, first thing we need to do is subtract them and then take the sign of the larger number. So example, 3 plus negative 5. So we have opposites, so we're going to subtract those. 5 minus 3 is 2, and 5 is bigger than 3, and 5 is negative, so it makes our answer 2. This one, we have negative 3 plus 5. We have opposite signs. One's positive, one's negative. We subtract them, so 5 minus 3 is 2. 5 is bigger than 3. 5 is positive, so our answer has to be positive. When we're subtracting, it says adding the opposite. Keep, change, flip, or opposite. So here's our example. We have 3 minus 5. If we wanted to do that, we keep the 3 positive, we change the minus sign to a plus sign, and we make our positive 5 to be negative 5. So then we solve it just like our rule of different signs. Different signs, we subtract and then take the sign of a larger number. So 5 minus 3 is 2. 5's bigger than 3, and 5's negative in this case, so it's going to be negative 2. So let's do keep, change, flip, or keep, change, opposite. So 3, so we keep, we're going to change, minus becomes a plus, and we're going to make this integer, or negative 5, to its opposite. Negative 5 now becomes positive. So our equation now is 3 plus 5 is positive 8. Negative 3 minus 5, so we're going to keep, change, flip, or change to its opposite. So negative 3 stays the same, minus changes to a plus, and we're going to make this positive 5 to its opposite, which is negative 5. Then we're going to solve like this. We have like signs, so we're going to add them together. 3 plus 5 is 8. We're going to keep the sign of negative, so negative 8. And our last one, keep, change, flip. So it's going to be negative 3 stays the same. We're going to change our minus to a plus, and we're going to make our negative 5 to its opposite. Negative 5 becomes positive. So now we're just going to solve this. Negative 3 plus 5, they're different signs. So we're going to, first thing we need to do is subtract and then take the sign of a larger number. 5 minus 3 is 2. We look at our numbers, which one's bigger? 5 is bigger. So 5 is positive, so our answer has to be positive. All right. Looking at multiplying and dividing integers, really simple rule. If they have the same signs, they're always going to be positive. So if you're multiplying two positives, your answer is going to be positive. If you're multiplying two negatives together, you're going to get a positive. So some example, negative 9 times negative 5, they're both same signs, they're both negative. 9 times 5 is 45, and being that they're the same signs, it's going to be positive. Looking at a division problem, we have the same sign, so we know our answer is going to be positive. 72 divided by 8 is 9. So two negatives equal a positive, or make up positive. When we have different signs when we're multiplying and dividing, our answer is always going to be negative. So in this case, we have a negative 5 times positive 5. I'm sorry, negative 9 times positive 5. We have opposite signs, so we're going to have a negative number. So 9 times 5 is 45, so negative 45. Looking at a division problem, we have opposite signs. One's positive, one's negative. So our answer is going to be negative. 72 divided by 8 is 8. And being that they're opposite signs, different signs, it's going to be negative. So if we have one negative, stays negative. All right, so that's our rundown of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing rules for integers. So let's practice with some integer with integers. Try these first mentally before you click the answer. You can also practice typing these into your calculator. So our first one, negative 10 plus 5. So we have opposite signs. We're going to subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. And we look at our bigger number, which is 10. 10 is negative, so the sign becomes negative. Our solution becomes negative. We have like signs. We're going to add and keep the sign. 8 plus 4 is 12, and we're going to keep the sign negative 12. 9 times negative 2. At any point on this, if I'm going too fast, please pause. 9 times negative 2, we have opposite signs, so that's going to be a negative. So 9 times 2 is 18, so it's going to be negative 18. We're dividing. We have opposite signs. One's negative, one's positive. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and our answer is going to be negative, being that we have opposite signs. Now we're adding. We have like signs, so we're just going to add our integers. 7 plus 3 is 10. We're going to keep the sign of negative 10. 11 minus 15, we can say keep, change, flip. So it'll be plus negative 15. So we get opposite signs. So we're going to subtract. 15 minus 11 is 4. 15 would be negative, or it has more negatives, so our answer is going to be negative. So negative 4. We have like signs and we're multiplying, so our answer is going to be positive. 5 times 2 is 10. And our last one, we have like signs, so our answer is going to be positive. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So negative 6 divided by negative 2 is positive 3. 8 plus negative 4, we have opposite signs. So we're going to subtract and keep the sign. 8 minus 4 is 4. 8's positive, our bigger number, and it's positive, has more positives. So our answer is going to be positive 4. This one you could go keep, change, flip. So this would become 9 plus negative 5. So these would become positives. So 9 plus 5 is positive 14. Multiplying, we have unlike signs. One's negative, one's positive, so our answer is going to be negative. So 7 times 3 is 21, so it's going to be negative 21. And our last one, we have unlike signs, different signs, so our answer is going to be negative. 24 divided by 8 is 3, and we know it's going to be negative because we have unlike signs. Negative 3. If you are getting hung up with any of those, please let Ms. Kumber or myself know, and we can help you. So our other exponent rules can still be used with negative exponents. So if we remember, when we're multiplying powers like this, we're going to add our exponent. Keep the base and add our exponent. So we're going to be following the same rules of negative exponents. So in this case, we have 10 to the negative 8th power times 10 to the 2nd power. So what that would look like, our rule is we're going to add our exponents. So we have negative 8 plus 2. Well, we're going to follow the our rule for adding with adding and subtracting exponents. Adding and subtracting integers. So negative 8 plus 2, we have opposite signs. So we're going to subtract and keep the bigger sign. So negative 8 is bigger than 2, and 8 is negative, so our answer is going to be negative. So 8 minus 2 is 6, so it's going to be negative 6. 10 to the negative 6. And for now, we're just going to keep our answer just like that. Here's our next rule. Powers to a power. So that means we're going to multiply our two exponents together. So if we did that, if we remember our rule, a negative times a positive is going to be negative, so we just multiply this out. So we're going to keep the base at 10, multiply negative 3 times 7, be negative 21. Dividing powers. When we do that, we're going to keep our base and subtract our exponents. So let's look at an example. 10 to the 3rd over 10 to the 5th. We're going to subtract our exponents. 10, we're going to subtract 3 minus 5. In this case, remember our rule where we can say keep, change, flip. So we can keep the 3, change the minus to a plus, and make our 5 negative. So it becomes 3 plus negative 5. We have opposite signs, so we subtract. There's more, 5's bigger and it's negative, so our answer is going to be negative. So 5 minus 3 is 2, but there's more negative, so it's going to be negative 2. So 10 to the negative second power. All right, so now open up your workbook to page 31. If you don't have one, that's okay. We'll work through this together. All right, so these are the problems that you see on page 31. So we want you to write each expression as a single power of 10. So try these on your own before reviewing your answers. So why don't you pause the video right here before we go through the answers. All right, let's go through these. So looking at this, we're multiplying powers, so we're going to have to add our exponents. Keep our base and add our exponents. So in this case, it's negative 3 plus negative 2. We have like signs. We're going to add them together. 3 plus 2 is 5. We're going to keep our sign, so negative 5. So we'll keep our base at 10, 10 to the negative 5th. Next problem is very similar. We're going to add our powers, being that we're multiplying. So it would be, keep our base. We're going to go 4 plus negative 1. When we have opposite signs like that, we're going to subtract. 4 plus negative 1. 4 is bigger, and there's more, so this makes it positive. Our answer is going to be positive, so 4 plus negative 1 is 3. So it's going to be 10 to the 3rd. Our next one, we're dividing powers, so we're going to subtract our exponents. 5 minus 7. 5 minus 7 is negative 2. 10 to the negative second. When we're doing powers to powers, we're going to multiply our exponents, so it's going to be negative 4 times 5. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20, so it's going to be 10 to the negative 20th. This problem, similar to the first and second problem that we did, we're going to add our exponents, so negative 3 plus 2 will be negative 1. So negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, so it's going to be 10 to the negative 1st. And our last problem, we are going to be subtracting our exponents. Negative 9 minus 5. We have like signs, so we're going to add those together and keep the sign. Negative 9 minus 5 is negative 14. So our answer is going to be 10 to the negative 14th. All right, how'd we do? Hope we're doing okay with these. All right, so I want you to try these two problems. It's kind of a combination of things that we need to take care of first. So why don't you pause the video, try these two. All right, let's go over these. So let's kind of think of breaking each of these down as its own problem, and then we'll combine them. So we have powers to powers on both of these. So I'm going to take care of this 10 to the 6th, all raised to the 3rd power. So I want to multiply my exponents. So 6 times 3 is 18. Let's look at this one. We have negative 4. Once again, we're going powers to powers, so we're going to multiply our exponents. Negative 4 times negative 2, and negative times negative is positive. 4 times 2 is 8. All right, so we got to do the next step now. We want to make this into one single power. So we're going to add our exponents. 18 plus 8 is 26. So it's going to be 10 to the 26th power. All right, let's take a look at this one. Once again, we're going from power to power. So we're going to multiply. Power to power, multiply. So negative 5 times 4 is a negative times a positive is negative. So it's going to be negative 20. We'll keep our division sign. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. So like I said, negative 20, negative 16. Now this is a division problem, so that means we are going to be subtracting our exponents. So negative 20 minus a negative 16, we could say keep change flip. So the minus is going to change to a plus. This negative will change to a plus, so it's negative 20 plus 16. We have opposite signs. We're going to subtract. 20 minus 16 is 4, and there's going to be more negatives, so it'll be negative 4. 10 to the negative 4th will be our final answer. Now we're looking at our target. Today I can use the exponent rules with negative exponents. All right, now what I want you to do is go back to the update in Schoology and complete today's practice. Look for the link and the code to join a quizzes activity. Try to keep doing it until you get 100%. Let Miss Kumber know and myself know if you have any questions. Have a good day.